Penguin Random House Australia Audio proudly presents Araluen, written by Judy Nunn, narrated by John Derum. All rights reserved. The author would like to thank Dr. Graham Hookway in Perth, Robin Gurney and Sue Greaves in Sydney, and Carmen Duncan in New York for invaluable assistance in the researching of this book. For my husband, Bruce Venables. For one sweet grape, who will the vine destroy? William Shakespeare, The Rape of Lucrece. Come ye back to Araluen, ancient warrior, distant traveller. Tread ye softly, wake me gently, whisper to me all your woes. Let the place of water lilies soothe your pain and ease your sorrow. Sleep forever on my hillside, where the timeless vine doth grow. Anon. Book 1. The Old Days, 1849 to 1873. Chapter 1. George and Richard. It was a hot, harsh day, mid-January, in the southern hemisphere. George and Richard stood at the portside bow of the bark Henrietta and watched the rugged coastline slipping by. Neither spoke. After 3 months at sea, even Richard had run out of words. Bored and restless, no longer homesick, no longer seasick, they simply ached to set foot once more on solid ground. But as the vessel rounded the southern headland, their torpor lifted, and they gazed ahead, awestruck. "My God," Richard breathed. "They told us it was beautiful. But look at it, George. Just look at it." And the Henrietta sailed into the womb of Sydney Harbour. George and Richard Ross were remittance men. They'd been banished to the Colonies by an irate father who was sick to death of buying them out of trouble. Gambling and women, mainly. Howard Ross had paid for their passage to Australia, given them each the healthy sum of £500 to get started, and told them not to return to England for 5 years. "Both of you will receive £100 remittance every quarter," he announced. "If you've not straightened yourselves out within 5 years, then I wash my hands of you. You forfeit any further moneys and you're on your own." Howard was a tough man, and he meant it, despite the tearful protestations of his wife Emily, who was particularly worried about Richard, the youngest of her brood of 7. "He's not yet 20, Howard, and he has a weak chest." "Rubbish, it's all those cigars. He's a malingerer." Before his wife could protest further, he added, "If he's consumptive, the dry climate'll do him good." And that was the end of the argument. Howard didn't like Richard much. He never had, but he was sorry to see George go. He had a soft spot for George, but he couldn't show favouritism, he told himself. Both boys appeared to have inherited the weak strain that ran in the Ross family, and the only way to strengthen them was to boot them out of the nest. The remaining boys had proved that they were more than capable of running the highly successful family business, and the 2 girls had been satisfactorily married off. The House of Ross had a reputation to uphold, a reputation not only for the manufacture of the highest quality steel cutlery, but for the exemplary behaviour of its members, members of one of the finest families in the county, or so Howard firmly believed. George was devastated by his father's decision. Although he was only 21, he had a strong sense of family and had presumed that, after sowing a few wild oats, he would take his correct place in the dynasty. He would work alongside his older brothers, he would marry, and he would produce sons as a true Ross should. No amount of argument could dissuade his father, and George certainly refused to beg. Not that begging would have changed the situation. Even if it could have, George would beg to no man. Despite his father's opinion, young George was not a person of weak character. His penchant for...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?